Hi again everyone, Tim here from timscomputerfix.net. In this video we're going to be tearing down and repairing or replacing a power jack in a Toshiba Satellite model L755-s5360. Now lucky for us, this is a pigtailed power jack, so it's not soldered to the motherboard, so it's a fairly simple job. Just follow along here. We've started off by just removing the battery. It's the very first thing we need to do. Remove this other panel here where the hard drive is, and there's one screw holding the hard drive into place. So we just remove that hard drive, and then from this point we'll just remove every screw that's on the bottom of this laptop. Now we're not going to sit here and show you every screw being removed. We'll jump ahead a bit, but just every screw that you see visible underneath this laptop just needs to be removed to gain access to the power jack. Once all of these screws are removed, we'll take off this back panel here, 3 more screws holding it down. Once the panel is removed, that'll expose the memory modules, and it's also a screw here that's holding in the DVD drive. So we'll remove that screw and slide that DVD drive out. We'll flip the laptop over, open it up. There's a plastic strip that covers the screws that are right above the keyboard. So we'll use a plastic pry tool. It snaps into place. It can be a little tough to get off, but it does snap in. Just kind of run your pry tool on the back side of it, get it unsnapped, and it'll come right off. That'll expose 3 screws that are holding the keyboard into place. We'll remove those screws. And actually there's a 4th screw here. So removing the 4 screws, we can now pull the keyboard back, being careful that there is a ribbon cable that's attached to the motherboard. So be careful of that. We'll flip the lever and remove the ribbon cable. Now we remove all of the visible screws that are holding the palm rest down, shown here. We'll just remove all the screws that are visible, and then there are ribbon cables that we need to remove also. There's one shown up here. We'll flip the lever and slide it out. There's one down here. We'll flip the lever and slide it out, and then we have a cable that's plugged in here at the top that we need to remove. We'll remove that one, and that's done. Now we flip the laptop back over because there are 2 very small screws here where the DVD-ROM drive was that we cannot forget to remove. Once that is done, the bottom shell, the palm rest, is ready to come off. So it kind of snaps into place. We'll run a pry tool around the edges and it comes off very simply. That's going to expose our power jack, shown here. Just pay close attention to how the wire to the power jack is routed. But there's a small hole here we can feed our power jack through on the edge of the motherboard to give us more room to play with. We'll slide it out the back like so and just unplug it then from the motherboard. Yeah, once this is done, we're now ready to put our new power jack into place. We got to just be sure we reroute the wires where they were before. Just remember where those were. Route them back properly. There was some tape here, so we'll reuse our tape that we had. We kind of moved it out of the way, so we'll be able to put the tape back where we had it. Then on the other side of the board, we just have to be sure that we plug our power jack in, of course. Plug it in, and then we'll tuck our wires back kind of how the original one was routed. Get them out of the way. We're now ready to put our palm rest back on. We'll just kind of set it into place. Kind of snaps down a bit. And then we can go ahead and get our cables plugged back in. Got this one here and our other 2 ribbon cables. Carefully slide them in the slot that they go in and close the latch. The other one down here like so. Slide it in, close the latch. Now we can put our screws back in that holds our palm rest into place. And after that's done, we can put our keyboard back. Just need to be sure we get our ribbon cable slid into place properly. Just take your time with this. Slide it in. And we'll push down the lever for this also. Now would be a great time to actually test this computer, this laptop, to be sure that our power jack indeed does work. So we're going to go ahead and just secure the keyboard down. And we're going to go ahead and test to be sure that our power jack is doing well. Put our plastic piece back. And before we finish up with the rest of the screws, we'll go ahead and test. Now you can test before the keyboard goes on if you like. So we plug in our power jack. It moves around a bit, but that's quite normal. We're going to test here to see if it powers on. Powers on. And now we have a lit screen, so we know, yes, we do have power. The battery's not in, so it's definitely by the power jack there. We move the power jack around a little bit to be sure nothing is shorting out. Everything looks good there. We can proceed. We'll slide the DVD drive back into place, secure it down. We can now put all of the screws that we took out underneath. We can put them all back into place. That piece of blue tape you see there in the corner marks one screw that's actually a little longer in length than the rest of them, so we wanted to be sure we mark where that goes. But we'll just put all of our screws back on the bottom of this case, and this job here is just about done. Now we're sliding this DVD drive back out because we have forgotten to put the two small screws here underneath the DVD drive before we put it in, so we'll double back. That's an easy mistake. No big deal. Put the two small screws in and slide the DVD drive back. Hard drive is next. Slide it into place, and there's one screw that secures it down. We'll secure it. And we can put our panel door over the hard drive and over the area where the memory is, the middle door there. Once we have both of our panels on here, we can put our battery on, and that'll pretty much complete this job. Hey everyone, I appreciate you watching my video. I hope this helped somebody out. This was a really easy repair for the most part. Some jobs are easier than others, and this one is one of the easier ones, but I figured I would show everybody anyways in case you're attempting to do this yourself. And hey, if you cannot or don't feel comfortable doing this yourself, you can look me up at timscomputerfix.net. You can ship me your laptop. I can give you instructions on how to do that once you contact me there. Anyway, please rate and subscribe to my feed. I would really appreciate it. That way you'll know when new videos are put up. So once again, everyone, thanks for watching.